Darling in the Franxx, Episode 9, Triangle Bomb. So I just finished Episode 9 of Darling in the Franxx, and I gotta say, this was another great episode. The series has just been on a roll lately. It is all killer, no filler, and this episode, again, was no exception to that. I absolutely love just the tone of this episode. I like how we have all of these characters sort of set out now. Like, the groundwork has been made. Now, obviously, I'm expecting to get, more story on characters like Futoshi or Zorome or something like that. But I just feel like now we have this kind of established. We have that these characters care about each other. And just the conversations in this episode between Goro and Hiro, that conversation that they had in their dorm, I really, really like that. The backstory that we got when Goro was fighting with all the other classmates or whatever, I really like that. I like how Hiro was kind of just like the pretty boy that was stepping in and kind of getting all the attention from Ichigo. I like how Goro treated that. I also like the moment when he got the hair clip and realized, like, oh no, Hiro already got this for her. Like, that struck me a little bit. That hit hard. The action in this episode, too, is absolutely stellar. We see some of that Sakuga greatness when these characters are rolling in on this giant, I think they call it a Gutenberg or something like that, the Gutenberg Klaxosaur. Really, really like that thing's design. Really just big and just, oh man, so menacing in scale and in animation. So just, again, fantastic from Trigger there, and A1. Again, I'm not sure how the production goes with this studio. I mean, you have two fantastic studios like A1 and Trigger. Who's getting the spotlight here when it comes to the animation? Who's working on that? I'm sure, I mean, it definitely is a collaborative work, but I'm not sure if they're like, A1 will do this part, then Trigger will do this part, blah, 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 or if it's like a joint effort with every single cut. I don't really know. It's really, really interesting, but I'm going to give them both props because that looked excellent. The thunderstorm and everything. I like how they had these weird, like, tendrils, like, hanging down. They were just dragging against the desert floor. That was really, really cool. I love how Zorome and his partner just kind of jump. Is that Miku, I believe? They just kind of jump in immediately and start fighting this thing. Like, oh, there's the core. Let's just go straight in. And they just couldn't penetrate it at all. This is one of the stronger Klaxosaurs that they've had to face. And Zorome was just getting thrashed. And then we see Goro and Ichigo jump in to save Zorome. And they end up getting taken by. But Goro uses this escape pod thing that just shoots Ichigo straight out of the Franxx. I really, really like that. That was really, really cool. Didn't even know that mechanism was there. Just so cool. Just so cool. And then now we have one of my favorite characters, Goro, trapped inside of the Gutenberg. And I honestly, like, I wasn't sure if he was going to make it out. I could have totally seen them killing off this character here. A lot of my commenters have been suggesting that somebody is actually going to die soon, just out of prediction, because again, this is anime only. There's no manga. They're not spoiling anything. But I was totally kind of feeling that too. I didn't think it'd be Goro, so it was just the whole episode. I was just gritting my teeth, like, I don't want this to happen to him. But good thing it didn't. It didn't happen. I would have opened this video with tears in my eyes if it did. Because again, Goro is one of my favorite characters, and this episode just ups him up even more on that tier list because he is just fantastic, even when it comes to his backstory or just his overall demeanor towards the situation. Especially at the end of this episode, that final back and forth between him and Ichigo, that struck me. That struck me a little bit. So yeah, he's trapped inside the Gutenberg. We have all of our characters that are back at the plantation, and they're kind of talking amongst each other, figuring out what's going to happen, how they're going to save him. And then the adults come in, the red-headed lady, who I forget her name, and the blue-headed dude, or dark blue. I don't know. I don't even know their names, to be honest. The red-headed lady's on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. Anyway, she kind of just comes in and just be like, stop all that you're doing. You're not trying to save Goro. What you're trying to do is stop this thing, this giant Klaxosaur, from reaching the plantation. And that's hard to hear. It really is. Like, I wonder if these characters, the adult characters like Papa and all of the higher up people like Dr. Franxx and all that, do they actually care? And I know they care as a weapon, but do they actually care about these kids like Zorome, like Ichigo, like Hiro, like Goro, and Futoshi, and Miku, and all of the other characters? Do they care about them as people? Do they care about them as human beings? And I really don't think so. And that sucks a lot. I really think that they're just there for the mission, and I think that Papa giving them presents and stuff like Santa Claus, I think that is just to kind of give them incentive on to fight even harder for his cause or for under his name. And again, that is really, really twisted. And even at this point, when at this the beginning of the episode, when Hero is talking to 02, and he's saying like, oh, this is like Papa, he's just giving us presents, you know, once a year, we write down a list of things we want and stuff like that. And you see this look that 02 gives, like, what? Like, that is so, like, messed up. At least in my head, that's how I see it. That's what I think she's thinking, because it kind of is, because there's no relationship there. It's not like a back and forth. I mean, there's no relationship there with Santa Claus, as much as I would want there to be, but still, like, it's just give and take. That's all it really is. And there's just little things that kind of just continue for you to continue fighting, and that sucks. It really does. And I think 02 is kind of starting to realize this, or maybe she already has. I just hope that there's a point where 02 has to come out and say this to Hiro and to Ichigo and to all of our cast. That, by the way, these people don't give a damn about any of you. You guys are just weapons that are being used. I want you to know that, and I hope you're okay with that. Like, I want that conversation to happen in the future. And I'm sure it will. I'm sure there will be something. And I kind of think that Papa and Dr. Franxx and the higher-ups, I think that they know that she knows that. And I think that's kind of why they're a little scared of her. I think that's why that they've been talking to her the way that they have and treating her the way that they have, because they know that she knows, and that's dangerous onto the group. And I think that they've started to notice things going on with 02 as well, that you know, at the beach episode and everything, like, and then the boys versus girls episode, they're like, what's going on here? They're acting a little bit different, and it's been ever since 02 was commenced into the squad, so definitely they're starting to pick up on some things, and it's really interesting. I like how that is developing. Anyway, let's get back to Goro. He's trapped. He's about to die. He's about to actually commit suicide. He's about to use a self-destruction device that I guess just the whole Franxx blows up along with him, and he's going to die with this Klaxosaur. But Ichigo and Hiro and the rest of the group are not going to have it. They go in for the rescue. I like this scene. I feel like it could have been animated a little bit better. Not that the animation was bad per se, I just feel like it could have been animated a little bit different. I wish that we got more of a perspective of Ichigo when she was in the hand of the Strelitzia or whatever. I wish that we kind of saw it from her perspective and saw it from what she was looking at, because it just didn't really feel realistic to me that they were moving so fast and she was just in the palm, especially when they jumped up really high and then Zorume's Franxx just like pushed them up. I kind of wish that we got more of like just a different kind of view of that was a little more human and less just like, oh, whatever, just throw her in there, you know? Like, I wish it was a little more personal there. Still an excellent scene, still well animated. I'm not saying, again, I didn't mean to say that the animation was bad in that scene. It was just that was a little like it could have been directed a little better. I think that's what I was looking for there. Anyway, she gets thrown inside of this thing. Really cool. Like, I like this Klaxosaur. I'm glad that we're getting different Klaxosaurs throughout. I love saying Klaxosaur, by the way. I love that we're getting different Klaxosaurs throughout this series and different kind of ways to defeat them and different. Honestly, this is like an environmental boss. That's basically what it is. Like, she's going inside of him and swimming through this like fluid or whatever. It's really, really interesting and really, really cool and disgusting too. Don't get me wrong. It's very gross. She eventually reaches the Franxx. It was a really cool conversation that they had in there. Just really cool. They fly up. I guess they dropped the self-destruction thing. I guess that was sort of the plan. Is it's not necessarily the Franxx blowing up. It's just it drops the triangle bomb. I guess that's why this episode is called that. Drops the triangle bomb and they blast out. And then one of the best animated explosions in this series so far happened, and it was just glorious. Just so good. Love that explosion. And then we finally, my favorite part about this episode was that last bit of dialogue between Ichigo and Goro when he just says, you know what, I think I love you. Like, that hit me. Like, I love that kind of dialogue, that awkward, quirky dialogue. I love Goro in this episode, and I love Ichigo as well. Ichigo and Goro both sprouting as characters, and I hope You know, I ship them. I really do. I ship Goro and Ichigo. I like that more than Ichigo and Hiro. Hiro's just not feeling that kind of relationship between them. But Goro is. Goro really cares for her more than anybody does, honestly. And I don't know, like, I really like how they're developing that. I wasn't expecting it to be developed upon either. I was expecting it to kind of just stay stagnant throughout the series. I didn't think it was going to be something that they were going to eventually focus on. And they totally are here. That dialogue was great. I love the hug at the end. That's probably going to end up being my thumbnail. Yeah, just a good episode. A really, really solid episode. Little by the numbers towards the end of it, to be honest. Like, at first, it was a pretty unpredictable episode, but it got kind of by the numbers towards the end. I'm like, okay, they're going to do this, that, and that. She's going to save him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're done. Like, a little by the numbers. That's something that it's a minor complaint. And again, I just wish that scene where she was in the palm of Strelitzia, I wish that was a little bit more visceral and a little bit more personal, you know, like, from her perspective. Again, that's not a big problem at all. This is still a great episode. I really liked it. I'm sure I'm missing something that I didn't get a chance to talk about. The opening of this episode, literally the opening line and the final closing line work together so well. How Ichigo is just like weather, and like he was like, what's in the forecast today? Or what's in the forecast tomorrow? Really, really like that. That is really relatable. Just really well done, really well executed and planned throughout the episode. Thumbs up for sure. I'm losing focus here. Thumbs up for sure. Really, really like the dialogue in this episode, and the action is always great. Trigger and A1 always delivering. So yeah, that is my thoughts. What are yours? Make sure to comment down below and give me them in the comments below. Let's talk about this episode. I'm sure there's lots of things to pick out. What do you think about Zero 2 kind of she's always giving these looks whenever Hiro or the rest of the team mentions Papa doing stuff for them, like when they went on the beach and now the presents and everything. There's always this kind of weird look about her. Let me know what you think of that, and also, do you think, just be honest with me, do you think that Ichigo and Goro can be a thing in this series? Do you think that they are actually going to be together? I don't even know if being together could possibly be a thing in this series. Not really sure if that's viable, but just let me know if you see them kissing in this series. I think that is a better question. Anyway, I'm going to end this video because a police car is going around about there and it's ruining it. So I think that is just about it. Hit the like button. I really much appreciate it. It's always appreciated hitting that like button. And also make sure to subscribe for more content like this and many, many other types of content as well. Gaming videos, other anime-related videos. I have to promote My Hero Academia. That is starting on the 7th. I will be reacting/reviewing to that series. Very, very excited. So, yeah. Again, as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.